Housing Transitions is celebrating our 40th year of serving Centre County. Since 1984, we have been helping families stay together, feel safe, and take comfort in knowing they are supported by our team. Every day we strive to end homelessness in Centre County. We're proud to have assisted more than 6,000 individuals over the years. We facilitate many programs that provide shelter, address root causes of homelessness, and offer guidance to find long-term housing solutions for Centre County residents in need. Our Centre House Family Shelter is a place to stay and the beginning of a path to a brighter future. Rapid Rehousing provides timely assistance to reduce an individual or family's amount of time experiencing homelessness. Clients obtain leases in their own names and receive a period of rental assistance. Nittany House is our program that provides permanent, supportive housing for individuals and families with a documented disability who have experienced chronic homelessness. To help us end homelessness, please visit our website, housingtransitions.org, and donate generously. Housing Transitions will be celebrating our 40th anniversary throughout the year. If you would like to know more about us, our programs, and our events, please visit housingtransitions.org.
You're watching CNET, Centre County's Government and Educational Access Network.
We'll call the Centre County Board of Commissioners meeting to order at 10:02. Those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have any public for comment today for items not appearing on today's agenda? All right, seeing none. Any additions to the agenda? No? All right. If the meeting minutes are fine, we'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the meeting held March 25th.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the meeting held March 25th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have two proclamations today. For our first one, proclamation number 11, we're proclaiming April 2025 as National County Government and Centre County Employee Appreciation Month in Centre County. The commissioners very much appreciate the huge amount of hard work that county staff does 24 hours a day, 365 and a quarter days a year, including areas like 911, corrections, children and youth, adult services, senior services,
Criminal justice planning.
Criminal justice planning. It's a very, very long list of 52 different departments that probably do well over 52 totally different things. So very much appreciate what they do. I was at a public event last night. I was talking to a citizen and I'm like, the federal government and the state government provide a lot of funding for which we are very appreciative, but much of the actual work of government takes place at the local level. With the counties and the municipalities. Again, your work is appreciated here in Centre County, and we'll read through the proclamation and maybe make a couple more remarks. So proclamation number 11 of 2025, whereas the nation's 3,143 counties, serving more than 330 million Americans, provide essential services to create healthy, safe, vibrant, and economically resilient communities, and whereas counties progress forward by providing health care, human services, administering justice, keeping communities safe, creating economic opportunities, I'll add one here, preserving agricultural land, and much more, and whereas Centre County and all counties take pride in their responsibility to protect and enhance the health, well-being, and safety of its residents in an efficient and cost-effective ways, and
Whereas the employees of Centre County government provide a broad array of services in areas including human services, elections and voter registration, emergency communications and response, property assessment, transportation, court administration, criminal justice, land use, economic and environmental planning, and GIS assistance for the citizens of Center County. And whereas the nearly 600 county employees strive daily to perform their jobs with professionalism and integrity in order to improve the lives of all citizens, and
Commissioner.
Okay. Whereas the Center County Board of Commissioners acknowledges the hard work, dedication, and leadership its employees exhibit on a daily basis across all departments and offices of Center County government, and whereas the National Association of Counties designates April as a time to highlight the services of county government. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Center County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim April 2025 as National County Government and Center County Employee Appreciation Month and recognizes all county officials and employees for their contributions. Adopted the first day of April 2025.
Thank you, Steve. I made a couple remarks. I'll pass it over to Commissioner Concepcion.
yeah, I've just really been so impressed over the past couple of years getting the opportunity to work here with all of you in Center County government. Just the level of professionalism and care that goes into the work of our employees in Center County, and how many of the jobs within county government are really pretty stressful sometimes in terms of responding to emergency situations and responding to make an impact in the lives of people when they have sometimes encountered really difficult circumstances in their lives. Center County government provides so many services that are really a safety net for people when they've often hit rock bottom. And our employees are really, really impressive in how they bring a lot of empathy and care and compassion to the work that they do, as well as professionalism in terms of like making sure that we're providing services in accordance with a great deal of regulations about how we do so. So really have come to greatly appreciate the work of county employees and proud to work with all of you.
Thank you, Amber. Great comments. Commissioner Dershowitz.
You know, part of that proclamation indicates, you know, the thousands of counties that exist in the country, and every state has different rules and guidelines for what the responsibilities of county government are. And here in Pennsylvania, we don't have the breadth and scope of responsibility that some counties do in the country. You know, they administer schools, they own all the roads and bridges. Well, we don't do that necessarily. But what we do is a lot of the things that really are sort of below the surface. We don't, you know, when you think of, you know, the human service agencies, the human services, you know, that they provide, we really don't see that on a day-to-day basis. And but the things that we do impact, whether it's elections or the justice system, or whether it's you know, providing safe communities and economic development, those are the things that, you know, we talk about and we highlight here at the meetings. But county government is a very many rich, diverse group of people that come together and do some pretty amazing things. And we have, I can say, some of the best county leadership at the department head level. We have great administrators. John, you've been a great shepherd of the flock here. But we just like to say thank you to all the folks that make up whatever part of county government, whether it's weights and measures or, you know, somebody who's working at our correctional facility. You know, it's almost endless, the things that we get involved in. You know, it was already highlighted, the things that you know, obviously what the more obvious one would be emergency communications. If you have an emergency, you're going to call somebody at Center County government and they're going to help you out. Well, that's what we do, and we provide training, we provide resources, and we provide, you know, kind of the backbone for a lot of services here in Center County that people oftentimes don't know or appreciate. And I would suggest, if you get a chance to look at our county website and just see the expanse of the departments and what all the responsibilities they have, because it's pretty amazing. And when any commissioner, and I think Amber, you probably found this out. You thought you knew what county government did until you actually get here and see all the different nuances. Well, it's the same thing. Mark, I'm sure Mark was there. I was there. Every commissioner across the state, when they go into office, says, you know, I think I understood what county government was, but when you actually look at all the dynamic, it's pretty amazing, and the folks that make that happen are even more amazing. So we just want to say thank you to all our county employees, all the county staff, to John and his crew, to it takes a lot of leadership to make all that fit together. And we have a lot of guidance and a lot of things that we have to adhere to. Mark mentioned, the federal and state dollars that we receive, and we really do appreciate those dollars. But with those dollars come a lot of responsibility for reporting and, making sure we stay we color within the lines with that money. So it takes a lot of folks, not only on the service end, but on the compliance end, to make sure that what we do here in Center County government follows our mission. And I think we've got a pretty crack team here, and I'm very proud of them. And I think I join my fellow commissioners in saying thank you for everything that you do. So.
Yeah, something I've heard at the National Association of Counties is county employees are there on your best days, and county employees are there on your worst days. County employees are there when you adopt a child through the court system. County employees are there when your small child who has some sort of developmental issue receives early intervention. County employees are there running senior centers, helping seniors stay safe in their homes. Our Veterans Affairs Department recovers usually at least $1 million additional dollars per year for our veterans families here in Center County. There are also worse days, calls to 911, the coroner's department where the news is almost never good.
But they are, in all fairness,
Yeah.
they are there past your last days.
Exactly. So county government is there for you, and the three commissioners in Center County are very honored to be your commissioners. And I do want to give John a chance to speak because the overwhelming majority of county staff reports up through his department.
It is true, though, that the county is involved in your life from the moment you're born to if you get married to when you leave.
Posthumous.
Yes,
Yeah.
when you move on to the next world. I just want to convey my heartfelt appreciation to for the incredible dedication and hard work of our employees, our team, who serve the county and its citizens. Your commitment to our community often goes above and beyond. As public servants, each of you play a vital role in making our county a better place, and we are grateful for your resilience, professionalism, and passion for serving the public. Thank you for your unwavering service and for making a positive impact in the lives of all those we serve.
One last thing, I think a lot of folks also don't appreciate the fact that although we are the commissioners and we are in charge of the fiscal affairs of the county, we're the legislators and the executive side, but we share that responsibility with a lot of other elected officials.
Yeah.
Whether it be the recorder of deeds or the sheriff, the list goes on.
Yeah.
And we also share a lot of that responsibility with the court system. And I think it's a weighty responsibility, but at the same time, it's an honor and a privilege to work with some really amazing people to make the services of Center County available to everybody. And John, I thank you again for you're kind of the interface between all those different entities, and we place a lot of trust and faith in you. And we want to thank you for your service.
This has been the honor of my working life.
Well, thanks, John. We very much enjoy working with you, too. I was thinking we were going to make it through without choking up, but
That's all good.
getting close here. Any questions from the press before we adopt the proclamation? No? All right, I think we're ready?
All right,
All right.
then I will happily move to adopt Proclamation 11 of 2025, proclaiming April 2025 as National County Government and Center County Employee Appreciation Month in Center County.
And I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to adopt proclamation number 11 of 2025, proclaiming April as National County Government and Center County Employee Appreciation Month in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Gary, you missed the best part.
No, I didn't.
We speechified.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
We were praising county employees. I'm assuming we should probably pass this over to John?
Next week is Press Appreciation Week, so we
Yeah.
want to make sure that you're here on time so we can cover all that.
Fools, isn't it?
Ah, you caught me, Gary.
We'll have cream cheese and cucumber sandwiches in the press lounge. All right.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Moving on to proclamation number 12, proclaiming April as Justice Education Month in Center County. And I think we have Carrie, and is it maybe Brandy?
Yes.
All right.
So I'm just going to turn things over to Brandy Henry. She is from Penn State College of Education, Restorative Justice Institute, and she can explain all the events they have going on for the entire month of April for justice education.
Thank you. All right, hi everybody. I am excited to be here. Usually I'm joined by some other folks from our team, but they are quite busy today kicking off an adjacent event for this, which is Rising Scholar. So they're bringing justice-impacted aspiring students to Penn State to get to understand what's it like to be a college student, help them prepare application materials, and hopefully enroll. So that's a really exciting sort of sister partnership we have that's going on simultaneously with Justice Education Month. We used to be week, we're month as of last year, which I'm also really excited about, and also this year expanding across the state. So we have an event that's outside of Center County. All the events are open to the community at large, but they're hosted at Penn State, and we have some remote engagement available too. So I'll go over what the events are, and also I understand they'll be shared through the communications department later, so hopefully you can check out the website, peruse the events, sign up for them as well. So our first event is today, and this event has a very catchy title, which is From State Penn to Penn State. So this features two justice-impacted students sharing their personal stories, navigating incarceration up to they're both enrolling in PhD programs. So Divine Lipscomb, which many of you may know him, he'll be enrolling, I'll be his advisor, which I'm very excited about. So he'll be enrolling in our counselor education program in this fall. And then the other student, who's also a Penn State alum, will be enrolling at Rutgers in a PhD program. So they'll share their personal stories. That event is tonight from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's on campus in the College of Education, but also available on Zoom, so you can follow a link and watch it from home if you can't make it in person. Then next week, we have another event on campus at the library, which is also available to watch on Zoom. It's a panel discussing Penn State's long history of prison education. That one's titled Prison Education at Penn State, Past, Present, and Future. That will feature two Penn State Restorative Justice Initiative staff, Leanna Cole and Irvin Moore, and also a librarian, Susan White. Then our non-Center County event out at the Dickinson Law School in Carlisle, that will be our reentry simulation. We've partnered with the county in past years to do them locally. This time we're taking it on the road. So if you can make it out for a road trip, it's beautiful out there. You can check out that. That is not available on Zoom. That isn't Zoom. It's an interactive reentry experience that tries to help simulate the experience of returning to the community from incarceration. So there are booths where you actually embody that experience of reentering, and you would go to the different stations, so things like education, the DMV, trying to navigate that experience. And then there's facilitated dialogues helping people understand what that experience is like, and then take those understandings into your work wherever that might be. So help inform like service delivery and how we can take that lived experience and use it to better serve people. Then on the weekend of April 19th and 20th, we're having a 2-day restorative circles and conferencing training, which leaves you with a certificate. So that's a real skill building opportunity. Much smaller scope, also very interactive. It'll be co-facilitated by Irvin Moore, who's a really transformative speaker. So that's an exciting opportunity to gain some skills you can apply in your life and work. We will have another proclamation. The borough is following your lead. They'll be doing one on the 21st at 7 p.m. So if you want to come out and hear what we have to say there, they're getting on board with Justice Education Month. And then we have on the 22nd a movie screenings of Sing Sing, and then a panel discussion with J.J. Velasquez and Dan Slepian. They'll be talking about the realities of incarceration and justice reform. And then finally, our keynote speaker, which was just released, so it's not on the website, but it has been announced. It's Dashna Polanco, who you may know from Orange is the New Black. She is Daya. So she's also an ambassador with the Innocence Project. She'll be speaking on campus. You can also follow it on Zoom. So come out in person or virtually to any of our events. We would love to see you there, and we really appreciate always your support in not just proclaiming this Justice Education Month, but supporting our reentry simulations in the past, advertising our events, coming out in person, which I know I've seen all of you at various events in the past, so hope to see you again this year. And our website where you can sign up or check out this very long list of things that I've shared with you all is ed.psu.edu/justice-education-month. And I think it'll be shared again with you all through the communications. So thank you again. I really appreciate it and hope to see all of you, some of you, at our events.
Okay, great, thanks. If you'd stay there for a minute, Brandy.
Sure.
Center County government has been on the forefront of criminal justice now for a number of years. There are 4 specialty courts that counties are allowed per statute to have in Pennsylvania, and thanks to the Regional Veterans Court, we now participate in all 4 of them. And correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie, but I think we were the Criminal Justice Advisory Board of the Year for the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
But for this state fiscal year. And of course, we've done a lot of work along with the court system, criminal justice, the sheriff, broad variety of other stakeholders to drastically reduce the number of Center County citizens at the Center County Correctional Facility. Let me hand it over to Commissioner Concepcion for more comments.
Yeah, I think a lot of these events that you're highlighting really show the ability of people who have experienced incarceration to turn their lives around, and really that there can be great things ahead of you after that, even after that experience, and that there's people who are dedicated to helping people with reentry and to avoid recidivism and to be able to get an education that'll help you, move forward in your life and do great things. So, it's great to hear about all these events. I hope, to be able to attend some of them. And I think, Center County government is really dedicated to this mission, too, of helping people who have been involved in the criminal justice system, have opportunities to turn their lives around. So, thank you.
Commissioner Tersham.
Well, thank you for coming in. I think you've highlighted a lot of the things that Penn State's involved in, but I think that we have a whole global discussion of things that are occurring, and I think Mark touched on a number of them, but I'm very proud of the fact that we, working with the courts, working with our probation department, we've really come a long way in trying to give people the tools they need to be successful, because a lot of folks don't appreciate the fact that everybody who goes into our jail particularly comes out, and usually within just a few months. And if we have that small window of opportunity to give them the tools to be successful, so they don't reoffend, or I think we've seen the recidivism rate really drop over the last number of years, and I think that's a very positive thing. And one of the things, although it doesn't directly correspond to criminal justice, is substance abuse. And I know Carrie's been very, very active, along with the whole county structure, of making sure that we provide the tools to those folks so they don't come back. And we're very, 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 very committed to understanding how we can always do things a little better and smarter and faster. So we really appreciate you coming in. We appreciate working with Penn State on so many different opportunities, but this is a big one. So thank you for everything that you've done, and look forward to continuing the conversation. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll have you up in a minute, Brandy, but any
Sure.
questions from the press on this proclamation? No? All right, looks like we could take a motion.
Great. Then I'll move to adopt Proclamation 12 of 2025, proclaiming April 2025 as Justice Education Month in Center County.
I will second it.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Proclamation 12, proclaiming April as Justice Education Month in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Come on up, and Carrie, will you be joining us too?
That's okay.
Okay.
They do all the hard work.
All right.
You do some of the hard work.
She does a lot of hard work.
Don't let her fool you.
You'd center yourself there and Bellefonte on the map.
Sure, I am.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, JJ.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, good to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
What a pleasure.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks again, Carrie.
Yes, thanks, Carrie.
Yeah, so JJ, you'll get all that event information out to us? Awesome, thank you.
All right, and perhaps for convenience sake, Carrie is first up under contract.
Yes, thank you. So I'm looking for the board's approval for me to submit a project modification request to the Pennsylvania Commissioner on Crime and Delinquency for our current Justice Assistance Grant. If you recall, that grant is supporting the implementation of the Public Defender Caseworker, Rachel Rocky.
Yes.
She's beginning on January 21st with the county, and I know the PD's office is very excited to have her on board. But as with any new project, when you get started, you find that what you thought you might have needed is not necessarily what you might actually need. So we're requesting to modify the grant a little over $7,000 each year. So initially in the budget, under supportive services, we had budgeted for our cell phone monthly cost, childcare for some of the clients, and clothing for some of the indigent clients. Dave Crowley and his staff have now requested that we utilize those funds to pay for various types of evaluations, psychological, psychiatric, sexual deviance, and neuropsychological evaluations. Often they're not covered, or an individual may not have health insurance or medical assistance, or they don't accept them at different providers, so cash is your only option, and they're very costly. So we're going to request PCC allow us to reallocate those funds so we can better spend down our award. This grant runs through September 30th of 2026, and the total award was for a little over $220,000.
Great, thanks, Carrie. Obviously, that department is closest to their clients, and so they can determine the best way to spend those funds. Any
Yeah.
comments or
It
questions?
sounds reasonable to me. I know that can make sure people get the help they need.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, then I'll move to approve the project modification for the Justice Assistance Grant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the project modification for the Justice Assistance Grant. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you.
Do you have a
Thanks.
question, Gary? All right, just looking for those cream cheese and cucumber sandwiches, huh? All right. Brian?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to renew the contract with Penn State Police Department, Penn State, for 4 to 6 deputies for Penn State football games or other activities. We'd usually do it April timeframe for Blue-White weekend, so we're trying to get in before Blue-White, I believe. So it's same contract as a date change, pretty much, one we've had standard for about 8 to 10 years now. So asking
Great.
for the approval.
Well, thanks for bringing that forward, Brian, and negotiating it. And hopefully we'll see some of the staff at the Blue-White game. And
They enjoy it, and it's, I'll tell you what, I worked with Richard for the
Yeah.
finance and everything, so
Okay.
everything's under control with that part, so. You know, I told him we might have to bump it up next year.
All right.
Per hour, so this year we're good.
All right. Questions from commissioners on that one?
Just an interesting little, we had an opportunity yesterday to have a conversation about some of the activities at Penn State. And one of the
Yeah.
things that I was sort of, I guess, sort of amazed about, they talked about what the biggest event in Center County was. And
Oh, yeah.
and they said it was the Luke Bryant concert last
Yeah.
year.
Was it?
Yeah, it was bigger than Penn State football.
Yeah.
And
How many that, I mean, that's big.
I don't know, but, you figure they probably put people on the field
Yeah.
to watch the
Yeah.
concert. So it probably held, I don't even know how many people actually were in Beaver Stadium, but if you think about that, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
always think about Penn State football as being the
110,000.
the big event, but
There's probably, there's a lot of police too, so.
yeah, well, I'm thinking that somewhere down the road, as events expand,
We might
you're going to
work
have
a
more
little-
opportunity, I think,
We worked Blue
to
White weekend.
exercise
We
your
helped
deputies in this.
We helped a few things, in the fall, we've helped us do a few things in other cases, but, yeah, they enjoy it. So we're always willing to assist when we can, so.
But the economic impact of those events to our community is
tremendous.
Periphery of it.
beyond,
Yeah.
I mean, it affects everything.
yeah.
So 3 or 4 counties around.
Oh, yeah.
For hotel rooms, everything, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what you do is very important, I guess, is what I'm saying. So thank you.
I don't do it, the deputies do it, so.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, looks like
Okay.
we can take a motion then.
Then I will move to approve the contract with Penn State University.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Penn State University. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Sheriff
Have a good day.
Sansel.
Thank you.
Now we have, I believe, Ryan from probation. Morning.
Good morning. I'm
Hi,
here
Ryan.
for a contract addendum with Public Health Management Corporation, which provides our risk tool that we use to identify appropriate participants for our treatment courts that we have here in Center County. This addendum addresses changes to the licensing fees, software, and service summary, and minor changes to the data processing and licensing agreement. The contract total is for $1,275. This is no change to the contract that we originally approved. This is just an addendum outlining those changes to the licensing fees and agreements, and this is budgeted for this calendar
Great,
year.
thanks for the explanation, Ryan. Any questions from the commissioners on that one?
No, sounds like an essential part of what we do, so
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I'll move to add the contract addendum with Public Health Management Corporation to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract addendum with Public Health Management Corporation in next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great.
While we have you here, do you have a rough idea how many people we have in all the treatment courts? I know that's putting you on the spot.
Probably 35 to 40 participants in all the different courts.
That's significant.
Yeah, the regional veterans courts is relatively new, so
Right.
currently we only have one participant in that, but, and then behavioral health court, that's relatively new as well. I believe we have 8 or 9 in that.
But I think it demonstrates the court and your department's commitment to making sure that we provide, talking about all this, criminal justice discussion earlier, I think it just shows that we're, you are and we are committed to making sure good things happen here in Center County for people.
Yep.
And that's important. So we thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And we have Jody around the corner.
Yes.
Oh, okay, there we go. And Jody, thanks for coming and talking about state and federal funding. Here we are.
Yeah, good morning. I'm here to ask you to consider approving the application for the fiscal year 2025 Emergency Management Performance Grant. This grant reimburses up to 50% of EMA employee salaries and benefits. The grant totals to be determined for the period of October 1st, 2024 to September 30th of 2025.
Great, thank you, Jody. And I know that based on the horrible windstorm/small tornado event a couple of Sundays ago, that your 3-person department was very busy and very stretched.
We were busy for a couple days, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Any questions?
Is this a state or federal grant?
It's a federal grant.
Thanks, Cindy.
Yeah. All right, looks like we could take a motion then.
Okay, I'll move to approve the Emergency Management Performance Grant application.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Emergency Management Performance Grant application. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Great, thank you very much,
Okay,
Jody.
thank you.
Thanks.
And here's Jonathan with 3 items for capital projects.
Yes, good morning. I am asking for your consideration and approval of a CoStars contract with Advantage Sport and Fitness to purchase exercise equipment for the community service building. The purchase of this equipment is part of the county's wellness initiative, and it will assist employees with managing stress and promoting a healthier, happier life. This contract totals $87,926.35. The next item is asking for your consideration and approval of a CoStars contract with Watkins Security for installation of security cameras at the Center County Public Safety Training Center. The current cameras are unsupported and have reached the end of their useful life, and this contract totals $46,389. And the last item is asking for your consideration and approval of a contract with West End Seal Coating for crack sealing approximately 6,000 linear feet of cracks in the parking lot and the EVOC site at the Public Safety Training Center. The crack sealing will help prevent the expansion of the cracks and prolong the life of the asphalt. And that contract totals $3,940.94.
Great, thank you, Jonathan. I'm actually surprised it's only 6,000 feet. That parking lot's about half the size of a mall parking lot.
Yes, we're fortunate we caught it just in time. Much longer and we would have had quite a bit more cracks.
Thank you. Commissioner Concepcion, comments or questions?
Yeah, just I'm glad that we're able to move forward with this this fitness center at the new community service building. I'm hopeful that'll be really helping employees maintain this balance of, you know, your work-life balance so that they're able to get some fitness time in during the workday, you know, over lunch or at the end of the workday as possible. So I think that'll be a real advantage to our wellness initiatives. And then, yeah, it seems good that we've gotten ahead of these cracks enough that we'll be able to, you know, defer having to do the full, you know, resurfacing of that.
Yes, with that being the specialty asphalt, that is at a premium. So
Yep.
the more maintenance we can do, the cheaper it's going to be in the long run.
Right, yep, sounds good.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Well, I will echo Commissioner Concepcion's thoughts on the fitness. I think that's incredibly important, particularly in the departments that are living in a very stressful environment, working exceptionally long hours, and it gives them an opportunity to de-stress in an environment that's relatively close to work. And unfortunately, we do need that because we have numerous departments that work many hours, and some that literally have to live at their job occasionally, and this is an opportunity for us to give them some de-stressing. So I think that's important. But it also this crack sealing, I mean, I'm actually surprised it's only $4,000 because that's a very specialized asphalt out there. That's not like your average, you know, even roadway asphalt or even driveway asphalt. That is very thick, very specialized equipment out there, and I think it's good that we maintain that because the cost of fixing that or replacing that in a much more major way would be just a lot of money. I remember how much it cost a long time ago, and I can't imagine what it would be in $25. So thank you for being on top of that.
Congressman and U.S. Senator kind of money, Steve.
Whichever, yeah. I bet you it's $1 million to
easy.
redo that.
Easy.
Yeah.
Any questions from the press on those three items? No? All right, we'll take a motion.
I will move to add the capital project items 1 through 3 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the capital project items 1 through 3 to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe we have, there's Ray from Planning.
Morning, Commissioners. This morning requesting the Chairman's execution of an IDIS online access request form for a new employee at CEDACOG, Susan J. Schaefer. She will be managing the setup activity and request for drawdowns under the Center County Community Development Block Grant Program. There's close coordination between that position and our Finance Department because there's a short turnaround for the drawdowns under CDBG. I think it's 72 hours. So every time we have a new person come on board, the IDIS form needs to be executed and submitted to the state for that authorization.
Great. Well, thanks for highlighting the close coordination on that, Ray. And we would like to thank our federal legislators for the Community Development Block Grant Program, which benefits primarily the rural portions of Center County, most especially for water and sewer systems. But additionally, I think we've had a couple of grants recently to the Old Gregg School Community Center in Spring Mills, kind of in the heart of beautiful Penns Valley.
That's correct.
Commissioner Concepcion, comments or questions?
Sounds good.
Perfect. All right.
I'll move to approve the IDIS online access request form for Susan Schaefer.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the, is it pronounced IDIS?
It's the Integrated Disbursement Information System, or IDIS.
Okay, online access request form for Susan Schaefer. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Ray.
I appreciate that.
And then from Risk Management, hopefully we've got Krista. It must be quite a line out there.
In the green room.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I'm simply here today to ask your approval on a contract with Americhem International to purchase an Eagle commercial steam cleaner in the amount of $2,471.88. The reason that I am here to ask you for your approval is we actually technically did not have this budgeted for the year, but the vendor came in and demoed the product for us, and it's a really fantastic machine, something that we haven't had before. Deep cleans, and so we opted to put this into the budget and delete some other items. So with that movement of budget items, I'm here to ask for your approval of that.
So it's for floors?
What's that?
For the floors? Is that what it's
Yes,
for? Okay.
yes, and even corners, corners and walls and around toilets, and it's pretty
I want
amazing.
one.
I know.
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, great, Krista, thanks for checking with us on this and having us approve the rearrangement of one piece of new equipment in exchange for several other pieces of other equipment.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Any additional questions from the commissioner?
Good, thank you.
All right.
I'll move to add the contract with Americhem International to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with Americhem International to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Krista.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now moving on to human services. For adult services, I think we have Faith with 2 items.
All right, good morning. I have 2 contract requests for you today. The first is a contract addendum requesting same-day approval due to the timeliness in which it needs to be signed and submitted. So our department was very fortunate to receive a call from the Department of Community and Economic Development, or DCD, a few weeks ago, letting us know that they had received a $125,000 contract back during the fiscal year 23 grant award, which will run out July 26th of 2025. We happily agreed, as we had to end our homeless prevention program due to depletion of funds. So we are actually allocating $25,000 of that to our emergency shelter program through Housing Transitions, and the other $100,000 to reopen our program until that July date, which will be very helpful for our community. So our request today is to have that approved so we can move forward.
Well, great. Thanks, Faith.
You're
We'd
welcome.
like to thank the governor and the state legislators for the funding, and again, thank your staff and Julia for the super fast turnaround on this. I suspect it was almost a jump ball situation, and we were just the quickest off the mark on that. So.
I think that we do a really great job, and we've been told over and over from DCD that our invoicing is excellent and that we're a great partner. And so if I had $125,000, I would go to the first county that I knew could spend it and do it well. So I'm very proud of my staff, and I appreciate your kind words.
And we very much appreciate the relationship we have with Housing Transitions and the wonderful job they do to help transition Center County citizens from being homeless to having a stable environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Commissioner Concepcion?
Thank you for your diligence on this.
Yeah, thank you. It's very, very good.
I'll move to approve the contract addendum with DCED.
Second.
We have motion and second to approve the contract addendum with DCED. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And Faith, you got a second item for us.
So this is a new contract request with Out of the Cold for emergency shelter services. So during this fiscal year, we received an additional HAP, or Homeless Assistance Program, allocation through our block grant. We received a little over $47,000 as part of the $5 million that was received across the Commonwealth. And so part of that we're requesting to use towards the just generalized emergency shelter services. You know, Out of the Cold has come a long way in the 10 to 15 years that I've certainly known them, that they've been in existence. They've been an incredible partner to us. We and all human service departments use them very, very often. This year, their shelter, as you can imagine, has been full and to capacity, continuing with wait lists. They had a code blue site for when it gets to be about 20, 25 degrees and under. And again, during our point in time count, they had 15 or 16 people in that facility that would have otherwise been in their car or on the streets. So we're really appreciative of the work that they do, and would like to help them out during this time.
Great. And again, thanks for the funding from the state for that. And also appreciate the Borough State College being flexible with Out of the Cold during the Code Blue event. Everybody worked together as a team on that. So,
Yep.
wonderful job.
Yeah, thank
Commissioner
you.
Concepcion, anything?
Sounds good.
Just helps everybody keep safe, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yep. I'll move to add the contract with Out of the Cold to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with Out of the Cold to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries great faith, and make sure we sign that contract today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, and then Julia's coming back up with 2 items for aging.
Good morning. So my first is a contract addendum number 1 with the Nutrition Group to provide a 3-month extension that includes a 3% increase in meal costs for home-delivered meals, congregate meals, and shelf-stable meals. Contract total is $155,016 with this funding coming entirely from the state. This is so that we will be able to take some steps to go out for bid for the next contract. Quentin wanted to make sure that before we went out to bid that there were any interested parties or that there was anybody who provided this service, and so he wanted to needed a little extra time to do that. So that's what this is. This buys us a little bit of time so that we can go through the bid process for the meals.
Great.
The second thing I have is contract addendum number 1 with Connect America to provide a 1-year extension for the rental of the personal emergency response systems and the medication dispensers through the options program. So this allows for a little bit of safety and security for some of our elderly population. And that contract total is $30,000 for July 1st to June 30th, 2026.
Great. Thanks, Julia. Appreciate that. And did want to mention that for the Meals on Wheels program, the State College area kind of takes care of it themselves, which we very much appreciate. And then Center County government, in a partnership between our aging department and our transportation department, handles the preparation and delivery of those meals over the remaining get the math right here, 900 square miles in the county. And I do know that some of our transportation drivers have had several saves for seniors over the last few years. So it's an incredibly valuable program, just besides the meals, just people being checked in on.
Yes, and providing sometimes that person who sees them day after day and being able to come back and let the Office of Aging know if they have some concerns about somebody. It's a really great partnership, really supportive, and really helps kind of cradle that community.
Commissioner Concepcion, anything?
Sounds good.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
As well, thank you.
All right, I'll move to add aging items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the 2 items for aging to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Julia.
Thank you.
And now Kathy has 2 items for us.
Yes.
Hi, Kathy.
Good morning. 2 agenda items for the board today. The first is a contract addendum with Skills Incorporated to provide funds for additional vocational rehabilitation, psychiatric rehabilitation, peer support services, community employment, pre-vocational, community-based, and family support services for their contract. Really, the addendum is adding specifically $5,500 under family support services. This is to meet very specific needs for an individual with complex needs that they served. And this will increase their contract total by that $5,500 amount to $225,106. This, their total contract, of that, most of that is state funds. It raises their county match to $10,377 and is for the time period July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. The second item is an agreement with Treatment Implementation Collaborative. We received a training grant through the Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services in the amount of $70,000 this year. And the training grant is specifically to offer evidence-based training for clinical staff in our provider network. Our hope is that in offering them some evidence-based clinical trainings, we will raise the professionalism and clinical skills of the folks that are being hired in the provider network. We are offering it not only to our clinical staff, but those in our neighboring counties, so it's kind of a regional approach. This will be at no cost to the county, but we believe we will raise the quality of our services, hopefully engage our clinicians to stay within the network. We're very excited to have this opportunity that OMSAS has provided to us. So with these dollars, we are engaging with Treatment Implementation Collaborative to offer a dialectical behavioral therapy training. DBT is a very high-end evidence-based practice. They will be here for 3 days in Center County to offer this training, and then they will then have a series of online courses. After you do the 3 days, you then do a series of courses by Zoom. All of that is incorporated into the $36,000 fee that they do, and this is all federal money that we can bring. We'll be training about 50 clinicians across the region. So we're very excited to have this opportunity. We'll be doing the training in June. It's something that we don't get many opportunities to do, so we're going to take the opportunity and run with it.
Great. Well, thanks, Kathy. Very much appreciate the increase in the state funding and, of course, the federal funding for the training, and also happy to see that we are offering some extra seats to the counties that surround us. So thanks again, Commissioner Concepcion.
So is this something that counts towards continuing ed requirements for providers?
I'm sorry?
Does this count towards continuing education requirements
Yes.
for providers?
We'll be using some funds from the training grant to provide CEUs, and as well as for psychologists who need those continuing ed credits. We're also partnering with our friends at the Behavioral Health Alliance through Medicaid. They'll be covering the costs at Toft Trees for the location and food. So we're partnering, and our neighboring counties, we're going to ask them to kind of help chip in for the materials and all those other things. So it's a real collaborative partnership to make this happen.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. Commissioner Dershowitz.
Oh, good to go. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Then I will move to add the MHID, EI-DNA items 1 and 2 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the 2 items for the Super Department Mental Health, Intellectual Disability, Early Intervention, Drug and Alcohol to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, different sign. We're good. All right, thank you very much, Kathy.
Thank you.
Have kind of a large consent agenda today, but I think it's pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, I'll move to approve this week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Moving on to authorities, boards, and commissions. For the Hospital Authority, Virginia, I believe it's Tichy, has resigned. Her term was January 1st of 23 to March 25th of 25. Obviously, if somebody would like to serve on a board that I think only meets once or twice a year, we do have an open position now. Maybe a little bit of background in finance or banking or bonds or something like that might be helpful, but really any community member is open for that.
Okay.
Unless there's any questions, we'll take a motion to approve that resignation.
I will move to approve the ABC resignation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ABC resignation. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And then Natalie Corman has a letter of support for a DCNR program.
Sure, good morning. So the Rock Trail Alliance, they're actually a committee under Clearwater Conservancy, is requesting a support letter for the DCNR, they call it the C2P2, you'll see on the agenda what it is, grant application. Last year, Rock came to you specifically about their Musser Gap extension to add 7 miles of additional mountain biking trails to that. They have worked on that. They hope to actually open that this summer, adding to another 11 trails. This particular grant they're applying for is upwards of $450,332.80, and this is to go into Greenwood Furnace area. So as they've connected over to Musser Gap, into Whipple Dam State Park, they're now kind of converting then over to the Greenwood Furnace area. And so it will just add additional trails that, while just outside of Center County, people will be able to be from Center County and be able to go and experience those additional trails. So they are putting in an application and looking for a support letter for that.
Great, thanks, Natalie. We do know that a number of other locations throughout the country, Bentonville, Arkansas, Western Virginia, have a broad variety of mountain biking trails in the dozens to hundreds of miles, and this would allow us to begin to offer that. And I know the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau has been very interested in this initiative. I believe there's a very talented trail designer who's an employee within DCNR. But obviously, you've got to rent equipment, you need some professionals. I think there's some volunteers who also help with the trail construction.
They do a lot of fundraising and a lot of volunteer hours, I think, to help offset some of these large grants that they get because of the equipment, because of the design work that's needed. But then a lot of volunteers just help maintain the trails that they are able to develop.
Yeah. Any questions, Commissioner Concepcion?
That sounds really great, because I know, like, being able to link Whipple Dam and Greenwood Furnace, then you're also linked in with the Standing Stone Trail. So that's, you're really able to get to a lot of different places from there. And those connections are, like, really helpful in drawing people to the area to want to do outdoor recreation activities here. So.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
It's all good. Thank you.
Okay, I'll move to approve the letter of support for the Rothrock Trail Alliance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the letter of support. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries.
Okay,
Great. Thanks,
thank you.
Natalie, and thanks for the quick turnaround on that.
Sure, yeah.
And then John has a CNET request.
Yes, it's that time again for the
Yeah.
sponsorship of the taping of the Center County League of Women Voter Candidates Night on April 29th. So we are seeking approval for that CNET sponsorship.
Great, thank you, John. Yep, there's elections in Center County twice a year, every year.
Yep.
Commissioner Concepcion? anything?
Yeah, this is a really great event for voters to get to, see the candidates for local office being able to, respond to questions that are coming from the community. And it's also a chance that those candidates get to meet each other and talk to each other when they may not have yet. So, great event, and glad to help sponsor it.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. I'll move to approve the CNET sponsorship of the Center County League of Women Voters Candidates Night.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the CNET sponsorship of the Center County League of Women Voters Candidates Night. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries, and thanks to CNET for working yet another long evening. Moving on to our check run, I believe that's Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, what I'd like to point out on the check run today, again, we have checks to a lot of our foster families, and just a notice that Center County is often looking for new foster families, and there's training available and financial support if you're interested in welcoming a child into your home. And with that, I would move that we approve the check run dated March 28th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the check run dated March 28th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. John, is there an administrator's report today?
Nothing to report at this time.
All right. Moving back to Commissioner Concepcion. Oh, looks like we do have a voter
The
registration.
voter report. So our total number of voters in Center County for this report are 101,637, and that's down 22 from last week. Of those voters, 41,254 are Democratic, 160 Green Party, 558 Libertarian, 15,549 registered with no affiliation, and 42,083 Republican voters. All of the other voters on the list of minor parties comprise 2,033, bringing us to that 101,637 number. Our precinct of the week is Ferguson North Central. This is precinct 91. There are 941 voters registered at precinct 91, and at the last election, they had a voter turnout of about 82%. This precinct votes at the Stepping Stone Community Church at 848 Science Park Road, and we are grateful for the use of that space. So there's our voter report.
And I believe that's the last precinct, right?
I think we've gotten to the top, so.
Yep. Going
Yep.
back to number one here, just a little bit. All right, thank you very much, Commissioner Concepcion. John, do we have any executive sessions to report or to hold?
None to hold. There are a few to report on. On March 25th, there were 2 executive sessions to discuss legal matters. The first one was from 2:09 p.m. to 2:31 p.m., and the second was from 3:03 p.m. to 3:43 p.m. On March 27th, there was an additional executive session for a legal matter from 1:06 p.m. to 1:59 p.m., and then there was an executive session on the same day for a real estate matter from 2:14 p.m. to 2:27 p.m.
Yeah, busy week. Thanks, John. For our public meeting schedule, we'll have a combined salary board and board of commissioners meeting on Thursday morning at 10. We have a board of elections meeting at 2 p.m. on Thursday the 3rd. And then on Tuesday, April 8th, board of commissioners meeting at 10. And now Gary's favorite part, questions from the press.
Does the staffing levels at the county prison, do you have the same number of guards on all the time, or with less inmates? Do you have less there?
It's an extremely variable number. Obviously, there are more people on duty for first shift because of all the extra movement. But I think since COVID hit, we've been fully staffed at that facility for a total of a couple of weeks. So we've just constantly been short on corrections officers, and we'll try to keep the overtime within reason.
The financial balancing, the specialty courts, do they cost the county more?
For the first year or two, those tend to be covered by state and federal grants. Afterwards, the county tends to have most of the funding be the local tax dollar. But we're finding while we save a bit of money at the correctional facility, our bigger savings are in areas like children and youth, adult services, and senior services, because most people who are at the correctional facility are kind of in the prime of their lives. They have children, they're sandwich generation, so they're caring for aging parents. So when we incarcerate them, suddenly, in some cases, now the county is caring for their children, or perhaps somebody becomes homeless, or we have seniors where now their support system isn't available.
One other area, Gary, one of our biggest specialty courts, treatment courts, is the drug court. And now we've had the opportunity to receive some of the opioid settlement money, and we can direct some of that money to the drug court expenses. So that's been a pretty solid resource for us. And I think over the next several years, you're going to see that continue as we phase out of other grant opportunities. We're going to continue to use those opioid settlement dollars to run those courts. So.
And certainly there have been savings compared to about 10 years ago when we used to have 250, 260 Center County citizens in the facility, and we were occupying every single pod. But right now, with variations of 100 to 120 people at the facility, that tends to be roughly the same level of staffing, which unfortunately we still can't fill all the positions.
And we also have enjoyed through the court and through probation and through the efforts of the correctional facility, a lot of alternative punishment measures that have offset some of our census population at the prison. So it's been very positive.
Question we keep asking about just federal funds in general. Has there been any word from DC, any change in the status of any federal funding for the county?
Well, the recent cuts to a federal group called SAMHSA is probably going to affect drug treatment services and and mental health services for Center County citizens. The $500 million plus cut to the food banks is also very worrisome.
Final question, there was a federal judge's ruling yesterday on mail-in ballots.
Yes.
I believe it's with the county. Do you continue to review the rulings?
We're definitely watching those rulings. We'll have to see if that is appealed, but I think potentially you were here when the experience and judgment of our solicitor was called into question. I believe this ruling validates everything she was saying in that Board of Elections meeting.
You don't foresee any major changes unless it comes from the courts before the primary elections?
We were sued 17 times in 2020. We were sued 10 times in 2024. It's difficult, but we have to make our decisions based on whatever the court rulings are on that particular day.
That's all I have, thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions? No? Appreciate it. All right, unless there's anything else for the good of the order, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn at 11:05. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great, thanks.
SCLO Library is proud to be centrally located in downtown State College, but parking in our popular location is at a premium. To maximize easy, free parking for library patrons, SCLO Library has installed a new parking system. 4 easy steps will provide library patrons with a low-stress parking experience. 1. Enter the SCLO Library parking lot and take a ticket. Bring your ticket into the library with you, as you will need to validate it a few minutes before you leave the building. 2. Spend as much time in the library as you would like. When you are ready to leave, remember that your vehicle must leave with you. 3. A few minutes before leaving the building, validate your parking ticket. There is one validation station located in the lobby. Scan the QR code, listen for one beep, remove the ticket, and wait for the thank you screen. Once a parking ticket is validated, it must be used to leave the parking lot within 20 minutes. 4. Scan your validated ticket at the parking lot exit. We hope you enjoyed your visit to the library, and we'll see you again soon. We're all in this together, so never panic. Library staff are here to help with any questions, issues, or concerns you might have.
Clearwater Conservancy has been committed to conserving and restoring the natural resources of Center County and beyond for more than 40 years. In 2022, we purchased 10 acres on Spring Creek in Hauserville. We have a 20-year relationship with this land, having restored the streamside forested buffer in 2004. This property, in the heart of the Spring Creek watershed, is the site of our new permanent home and our local conservation, restoration, and education programs. The public will be welcome to explore the stream, as well as use the community meeting room for partnerships and collaboration. Clearwater's dedicated volunteers will see firsthand the positive impact of their efforts. Your support ensures that our conservation work thrives, protecting our natural resources for everyone. As an accredited land trust, we promise that residents will enjoy clean water and natural areas for many years to come. Your support is essential in preserving our natural resources for future generations. Visit clearwaterconservancy.org to learn how you can get involved.